great, right? If you do a really good job with your prompts and stuff like that, you can get some really good results. Yeah. But unless you really know what you're doing on your prompts, like it's a lot of bad information. I asked ChatGPT to tell me, like, I play a video card game online. I asked it to tell me, give me a good strategy for this type of hero in this game. And it had no idea like how to even start down that path. Like it gave me this and it was all like factually incorrect, just bad information. It was just making shit up basically. And that's what they do. They fill in, they make up facts to fill in the gaps in what they don't know. And they present it as though it's actual fact. And so a lot of people are going to really get caught up by that.
Well, I was just thinking in terms of, okay, well, I want to build like a program or an app or something like that, where since I don't have the technical knowledge, I can like go to that. I might have to hire somebody to like debug the thing, but it might be where you can just do that and then maybe even it'll like correct itself even, you know what I mean? Like,
that sort of thing, it does work. I don't know how good the quality is, but like I've asked it, hey, can you write a script for me to, help me maintain my Plex server? And it can do stuff like, it can write a script to like pull down new stuff as it gets posted or whatever. Yeah. And so it can definitely help with stuff like that. Like if you don't have the technical aptitude, but again, you don't know like where the gaps are, where the holes are, like if it's secure, not secure, if there's a giant gaping back door that somebody could hack into, you don't know any of that. Right.
Yeah. Well, that would be where like somebody with some expertise you'd have to like bring on and say, okay, well, this is what I want and this is what they maybe generated for me and go in and then like, try and break it or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, all right. Well, let's get this show started here. We got the finale, so you know what that means. That means we've got a special intro song.
In the deep dark hills of eastern Kentucky, that's a place where I trace my bloodline, and it's there that I read on a hillside gravestone, you never leave Harlan alive.
This is Groundless, a Justified podcast. This is a podcast where we watch every episode of Justified and then come on here and talk about it. They are the Mighty Mojos singing You'll Never Leave Harlan Alive, their arrangement. Because this week we are here to discuss Season 5, Episode 13 of Justified, the season finale of Episode 5, an episode called Restitution. I am Chris. That man is Randy.
No, the long national nightmare is over.
Ladies and gentlemen, our long national nightmare is over. Yes. Nixon's finally out of office. And Season 5 is finally over. And, I gotta say, I not as bad as I remember it, but still not very good either, right? It's a perfectly average season of television, and that's not what we're used to from Justified.
Yeah, and I think I'll just reiterate what I said last episode, was that, I don't think it was better than I thought it was going to be. It was about what I remember it as going through this, which is fine. I mean, it's perfectly fine television.
Yep.
But as you're saying, the level is not to the other seasons of Justified.
Yeah. So we became accustomed to, we got spoiled, right? Basically. We got spoiled by something way better than average for 4 straight seasons. And then we get it in the 6th season as well. And then you just have this little hiccup in Season 5. And again, as we talked about last week, it's probably more to do with the guest stars than anything else. At least that's my opinion.
It's kind of funny because you had mentioned also last episode how far like the plot or the arcs of the story of this season have been.
Yeah,
like we started out with the crows in Florida. And, I don't know. It's
And all of this is Raylan's fault. Every ounce of it. It's just it's so wild to me that, Raylan trying to catch the guy who shot the Coast Guard guy resulted in everything that happened in Harlan this season, right? Because otherwise, if Raylan doesn't need Daryll Crowe Jr. to help him get Elvis Machado, Daryll Crowe Jr.'s parole doesn't get lifted, and he can't leave Florida.
Yep.
And Dewey Crowe ends up probably a successful whorehouse entrepreneur.
Yes. The Donald Trump of
the Donald Trump of hillbilly whorehouses.
Yes.
Just to say Donald Trump. No, I would
or the Elon Musk, I guess.
The weird foreign carnival barker of hillbilly whorehouses. But yeah, this week, season 5, episode 13, Restitution. The Mexican cartel catches up with Boyd and demands payback for the dead bodies. Ava goes on the offensive after being accused of snitching, and Wendy faces a hard choice after she learns that Kendall will be tried as an adult. Now, here's what's interesting. Kendall, Kendal, I did not think that was the case. I had been spelling it in my notes, Kendall, with 2 L's this whole time, but according to the official synopsis, it's only 1 L, Kendal. So interesting spelling of Kendall there. And Daryll is apparently spelled with 2 R's also, which is weird. I thought as well, because I've been spelling it with 1 R. So the reason we know that is because we see it on Boyd's phone. This episode written by Fred Golan and Dave Andren. We know both those guys. This is the start. We had seen a couple of episodes this season with 2 writers credited. We'll see that a lot more in season 6. 2+ writers being credited on most or on many of the episodes in season 6. This episode also directed by Adam Arkin, Theo Tonin, now locked up. Theo Tonin, but still directing episodes of Justified. And of course, guest stars this week. We're not going to talk about any guest stars this week. There's nobody of any significance for us to talk about because it's finale time, people. It's finale time. It's time to get serious about this stuff. But before we can talk about the finale, we have to take a quick trip back. We can't appreciate the TV show, the art that is Justified, without making sure we put it into its contextual status from all of 10 years ago. So let's take a quick trip back in our time machine and take a look at what was going on in pop culture the week of April 8th, 2014.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
We did indeed. And our number 1 movie this week, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So I believe that's the second Captain America movie, not the third Captain America movie, but the second Captain America movie with Bucky now, and it grossed $117 million in its first weekend this week in 2014. So that's pretty good week for a comic book, for any movie, and comic book movies are not doing that well now. So good for Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Because they're all the same.
Because they're all the same. They're all terrible. Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're all terrible, but
most of them are terrible. Sorry.
How many times can the world be saved?
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. They have a stakes problem in both the Marvel and the DC cinematic universe, right? Because you have to have these ever increasing stakes, and it's just like, ugh.
Oh, is it the universe that's going to end? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. This time it's not just the world, it's the universe. Oh, well, let's make sure we get out of bed for that. It's one of those things where you watch these, you have these existential threats. You watch these one-off movies with Captain America or with the Doctor Strange, for example, the movie that came out last year. You got this existential threat to all of humanity, right? That they're dealing with in this movie, and yet they don't even bother to call all the Avengers. They're just like, oh, Doctor Strange and half of Spider-Man can handle it.
They can handle it. Yeah. Shouldn't you be calling reinforcements? Come on.
It's like, how bad does the threat have to be? Does it have to involve the destruction of all the worlds? Because that's what was at stake in the Doctor Strange movie. I guess we don't need to call the Avengers for that. We only save them for the real threats when we need punching. That's what we need.
Yeah, it's a problem, and maybe that's just the nature of the comic books themselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it totally is, and that's the thing, right? The threat is always bigger, but at least the comic books, they would scale it down after a while, right? Like they'd have their big existential like team up moment, and then it'd go back to like a year or two of just like, you know, regular run of the mill sort of fiascos. Spider-Man would stop crime again on the streets instead of having to fight a galactic terror. But
yeah, well, you know, like John Wick, even though that he's supposed to be taking on presumably it's the universe, or at least Earth, you know, all of the criminal activity on Earth, it's still limited. You never get the sense that the whole world's going to come tumbling down if he doesn't win, or win his fight. Yeah,
no, that's exactly right. The stakes are only for him and the High Table. That's it. Yeah. The rest of the world doesn't care. Like, okay, John Wick's dead. Okay, John Wick's dead, right? Or, the High Table fell. Oh, the High Table fell. You know, half of the world, or most of the world. Well, I would say half of the world, but it appears that there are roughly like 3.5 billion assassins. so half of the world, roughly, doesn't even know that this whole thing exists. The other half is trying to kill John Wick. So.
Did you see? Have you seen? I don't know if you saw the Equalizer movies with Denzel Washington.
I saw the first one. I don't think I saw the new one from the mid 2000s. I didn't see.
Okay, so there's an Equalizer 3 that they just released a trailer for. I saw it, just came across my feed yesterday.
Oh,
and it's not as good as John Wick as far as like the action, but Denzel Washington is so good as like the man who's on a rampage, you know, like in Man on Fire. Actually, it's interesting, like Man on Fire. Yeah, it's funny. There's a connection there because they're coming out with it. And in this Equalizer 3, it's like he takes on the Italian mafia. Which is kind of fun.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and the connection that this movie has to Man on Fire is the young girl. She's all grown up now, and she has a cameo. And it's not like they're connected or anything like that. She just happens to make an appearance.
Well, that girl's Dakota Fanning, right?
I think it's her sister, Elle.
Oh, is it Elle Fanning? Okay, it's one. I knew. I thought it was one of the Fannings, but so now she's in the actual movie.
She's in the Equalizer.
Oh, cool.
As she's all grown up now, but because that movie came out like I don't know, 12 years ago or 15 years ago or something.
Oh, Man on Fire.
Longer than that.
That was like 20 plus years ago, I think.
Oh, geez, man.
99 or 2001, something like that.
Oh, maybe you're right. Jesus, we're old.
A long time ago.
That was so good. I'm gonna take apart your family piece by piece.
No, 2004, so 20 years ago. So that's
okay. Only 20.
Oh, it was just 20 years ago.
God. But anyway, Equalizer 3 is coming out, and I'm kind of here for it. Actually, I kind of like that. Yeah,
I got to see that second one, I think, before I decide if I'm going to see the third one. I was just commenting that this week there's like multiple movies in the theater that I actually want to see for the first time in literally years.
Oh yeah. Well, what else is coming out?
That movie Air's out with the Michael Jordan one.
Oh yeah, that doesn't look like a movie that.
Yeah, you don't go to the theater for that.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing that, but the Dungeons and Dragons movie, the Mario Brothers movie, I want to see both of those. There's the new Evil Dead movie, which has gotten not great reviews. I kind of anticipated that, but I like a good, fun Evil Dead movie. So if it's fun, I'll check it out. And then there's another one, the Ari Aster movie, Beau is Afraid. It's from the same guy who did Midsommar and Hereditary. So I'm interested in seeing what that's all about. I've very deliberately not read anything about it because I don't want to know. So.
I never saw the Midsommar. That was supposed to be pretty good, though.
It was pretty good, yeah. And I like that Florence Pugh. I think she's cute as everything. So she's super cute. And
Florence Pugh. I don't even know who that is. Maybe.
She was in that Don't Worry Darling recently. That's probably the most famous movie she's been in, except for Midsommar.
Okay. Okay. She doesn't. I can't even think of any movie I've seen her in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She hasn't been in a ton of famous movies, but she's got a lot of heat right now in